Guys, this video, if it's come across your page, it's for a reason. If you come through my Instagram, you're here for a reason. You're here to develop your mindset, to really grow into the man you've always wanted to be. But I know a lot of you guys look at your desired outcome and you're like, why isn't it happening? Compare it to your mindset. Compare it to what you're doing. What are your actions looking like, bro? Your actions are not where they need to be. But that's because your mindset isn't where it needs to be. You guys need to understand where your mind lives, where your subconscious mind lives, is the result of the reality is going to be a result of that. The reality that you want needs to be the same in your subconscious mind. But what happens to a lot of young men, or men in general, and I used to be the same way, by the way, I'm not dogging you guys, is that you kind of feel entitled. You kind of feel like you're just supposed to be, successful. You're just meant to be successful because you feel like, look, everyone has that feeling of, I know I'm meant for more. I feel better than other people. You have that ego, right? But the truth of the matter is, no one's entitled to actually achieving it. It's a lot of people, and it's not that many people, but there's that maybe 5-10% of men in the world that have that desire, that they kind of feel like they're meant for more and yada yada yada. But a very slim percentage of those people actually make it happen, actually achieve it. And the reason why that is because their mentality is wrong. But how, you might be asking yourself, hey, but how do I fix that? Well, it's going to be all in this video. The first thing that really changed my mentality is self-development books. I can pull one up here for a second, right? Self-development and journaling, right? This book right here, Think Grow Rich, ultimately completely transformed and changed my life. It really did. It really did, from the ground up. And there's this idea in the book that it's so true. You guys have to understand, there's like the three strongest human emotions or conduits are the following, right? And once these following three that I'm going to mention are in place, that's when you get the desired outcome. That's when you get it done. Well, the first one is desire. So a lot of you guys have that desire, but you don't have it bad enough. You have to train that desire. Because if you really have that desire where you tell yourself, oh, I'm going to wake up at, let's say, wake up at 6 a.m. The alarm goes off. And you put snooze for 9 minutes. You don't want it bad enough. You don't want it bad enough. You know what I mean? When you have to sacrifice an hour or two of sleep so you can get extra work in on your business that you're trying to start, you don't want it bad enough because you don't do that. Or you do it 1 day or 2 days, 3 days out of the week. You don't do it the whole week. You don't want it bad enough, right? You don't want the things as bad as you think you do. You really don't, because you're actually the line of it, right? So you need to build desire. How you build that desire, depends on the person. How I personally built my desire was that I had to believe it was possible, right? So to me, desire and the second one I mentioned, faith, go together. Because if you really have that faith and you have no doubt in your mind that you will become successful and that you are going to get it done, then your desire also goes up. So these two go up at the same time. So let's start with faith. How are you going to build your faith? Well, you're going to build your faith from your actions, right? But ultimately they go together. So let's start with this, right? Believe that it's possible. Believe that it's possible. That's the first step. Before anything physical, I want you to actually look at yourself in the mirror. Tell yourself, I can do it. I can achieve this goal. I can achieve the desired outcome. Whether it's a physical, like your physique, whether it's, money, I want you to actually look at yourself in the mirror and say, I can do it. I will do it. I've already done it. And start applying that mindset of that you've already accomplished this goal. Not that you've already done it literally, but you feel as if you already have, and you feel like as if you're already that man that has done it. Start acting like the version of yourself that lives the life you want. The version of yourself that lives the life you want, how does he act? What does he put his time into? What does he spend his money on? What is his ideology around money? Is he scarce? Is he trying to hold on to every dollar he has in his bank and think it's not going to come back? Like, how does that person act? And ultimately, he probably acts different than you do now. He actually most definitely acts differently than you do now. So start acting like that person, right? Another thing you can do, which is my personal favorite, read self-development books. Train the mind. If you train the mind, everything else will go from there. It's the starting point is your foundation. Think about it like you're building a property, you're building a home. If you don't have a good foundation, it's all gonna crumble down. Imagine you want to build this big ass building, this big ass skyscraper, and you can't build a strong foundation. You're not gonna get anywhere. So build the foundation, build the mind, and from there you will actually begin to succeed, right? And besides that, besides the mindset, besides all that, once you get the mindset going and you're trying to you're becoming better, guys, ultimately, if you don't believe in yourself, believe in a higher power, whatever that may be. But start putting faith in that higher power, because a lot of people say, oh, I believe in God or whatever God is. But do you really though? When was the last time you've repented, you've apologized for your mistakes, for you not being perfect, for the things you've done that are incorrect? If you can't remember the last time you've done that, you got work to do. You know what I mean? So build your faith, build your relationship with whatever higher power you have, and you will start being and building yourself ultimately, right? So that's crucial. But once your faith's in place and you actually believe in yourself, what you need to be doing in addition to that is reading self-development books. Personal favorite, Think, Grow Rich. Another one that's good is Power of Awareness. These are just mindset ones, right? I need you guys to start every single day writing down a full list of the things that you can and will achieve. Write it down, bro. Write down that statement, and really mean it. When you read this statement, be specific, like it says in the book, right? You guys, I'll literally write out, like I'll literally tell you guys right now, bro. What you guys need to fucking write down, bro, is essentially this, right? It's a 5-step process. Write down how much money you want, whatever it is, or the same money. How much money you want, what you're gonna sacrifice for that money, whether it's sleep, whether it's meaningless pleasures like watching Netflix, watching TV. Write that shit fucking down, bro. This much money, I will sacrifice this. When is it gonna happen? Put the date and build a strong, definite plan for it, right? What are you gonna do to make that happen? Because, listen, a literal ounce of action is worth more than a tons of thoughts, right? So take action to build that plan. What you're gonna do, bro, is you're gonna write down a statement with everything in there, bro. How much money you wanna make, by what date, what are you gonna do, to make that happen, what are you gonna sacrifice, and ultimately, what are you gonna give in exchange for that money, right? Let's say it's a service. Make sure your clients or whatever product you're making is the best, so that your clients get the results, so your clients get what they paid for. Because the more service you give, the more money you will have, right? So that is personally how I built my faith. And once you truly have that faith, it gets built like this, guys. Every night before you go to bed, before you put your head on that pillow, I want you to actually start feeling your wish fulfilled. Start feeling, I want you to actually think about every little detail, right? Let's say your goal is to have that first 10K month. Everyone's goal nowadays, right? I want you to actually envision $10,000 on a dashboard, of any type of dashboard, this month, from this day to this day. Let's say you want to make $10,000 by summer. I want you to imagine June 1st to June 30th, whatever the day is, $10,000 something made. Profit. Envision that feeling of that money hitting your bank, of you seeing that money on the dashboard, of you actually having that money. What would you spend the money on, right? Let's say you want this car. I want you to envision being in the car. I want you to envision every sound, every pop, every bang. Envision that. Envision holding the steering wheel. Envision, whatever. Let's say you want a hot chick next to you when you have that car. Envision that chick to the detail. Envision that, bro. Really feel it. What time is summer? You imagine a nice warm summer breeze when you're driving the car. Right? Imagine every little detail. Imagine the wind hitting your face. It's a windy summer day. Imagine everything. Imagine the sun's blazing out. Imagine driving to the beach in it. Right? Envision every little detail. And I want you to do that visualization for 5-10 minutes before you go to sleep. Right? That's the last thing you do. What you do before that is read that statement to yourself. What you said you're going to accomplish, by what date, what you're going to sacrifice, what you're going to do. Read that shit every night and believe with emotion that it's going to happen. And then do that visualization, go to sleep. But you're gonna do that every morning as well. You wake up, but when you're ready to conquer the day, I want you to actually visualize everything, read that back to yourself, and start taking action, bro. And then once you build that faith and you build that desire, what's gonna happen is your actions are gonna start aligning. You're gonna start waking up earlier, even if you don't want to. You're gonna wake up at 6 a.m. or whatever time it is with no snooze, and you're gonna start becoming more proactive and ultimately getting closer to the results, and everything is going to start flowing to you. Money will start flowing to you. And with that, like I said, there's three. It's desire, it's faith, and it's all in the book it says sex, but let's just call it love, right? The love will come. You will attract the woman of your dreams, the godly, like really the woman of your dreams. Once you build your desire, you build your faith, ultimately your actions align with the man you want to become. Whether you have the money yet, but you already are taking those actions to be the man you need to be in order to get the money, the woman will come somewhere in that process. And ultimately, that is how you become fulfilled as a man. And those three things being aligned, you will achieve every goal you've ever wanted, bro. Every goal you listed will happen.